Hello and welcome to Spotlight on Connected to India. I'm Punam Sharrma. Our guest today needs no introduction. As they say, bas naam hi kafi hai. Please welcome Ms. Shabana Azmi, who will soon be performing Rhymes of Love, an evening of poetry and conversation in Singapore with her husband, renowned writer-poet Javed Akhtar. Shabana ji, thank you so much for talking to Connected to India. It's going to be a treat to have an evening of poetry and conversation with you and Javed Saab. Tell us more about this upcoming event. Excited to perform in Singapore again?
Yes, I have a very good relationship with Singapore, and I have done two plays for the Singapore Repertory Theatre. One was Nora, and the other was Betrayal. And I've spent considerable amount of time with Gaurav Kripalani and the theatre group, and I had a very, very nice time. And so I'm really excited to be back. Yes.
Shabana ji, you and Javed Saab have such amazing chemistry, and it comes through when you're performing on the stage together. Tell us, do you guys really prepare, or you just let it flow naturally?
No, but see, because basically the poems are by Javed Akhtar and I read the English translations. What happens then is after the poetry is recited, then we have an in conversation in which we encourage the audience also to speak. And I find that connects very deeply because people can then ask the questions they actually want to hear the answers of. And that's free flowing and casual, and it can talk about everything. My only grouse with Javed Akhtar is he writes all this romantic poetry and he writes all these romantic songs. And I have hordes of girls coming running to me and saying, how lucky to be married to such a romantic man. Does he recite romantic poems for you at breakfast? And I tell them that he does not have a single romantic bone in his body. And they say, how is that possible? And then when you ask Javed that why is your wife complaining about you're not having a single romantic bone in your body, he says, well, if you're working as a trapeze artist in a circus, do you hang upside down in your own home? That's his answer, instead of saying, yes, he should be a little romantic. So we have this great image, and in real life, Than Than Gopal.
But tell me, anything that he has written for you in these Rhymes of Love, anything that he has dedicated to you?
Yeah, he's written a poem called Shabana. So you'll be hearing that.
Okay, can I request you to possibly share a couple of lines with us? It'll be lovely to hear it from you.
No, it'll be lovely to hear it from him. So it'll be lovely to hear it from him. So wait for Rhymes of Love to be actually staged in Singapore.
Ma'am, tell me, poetry has always had a very niche audience. So do you think that audience still exists, or it's depleting and something needs to be done to revive it?
You know what we have found, particularly with Rekhta, which really is not so many years old in India, and they started off as a very small organization, and now they have a 3-day festival in Delhi, and it's largely to do with Urdu. But there are so many youngsters who come and are so, they're ready to sit on the floors, they're ready to do anything, they're so interested. So I definitely feel that we are mistaken when we say that poetry is losing its resonance with people. I think poetry has the ability to reach out to those areas of your heart which prose cannot reach directly, because it leaves a lot to your participation, your imagination, your experience, because the poet is talking about something which can आपकी मिट्टी गीली कर सकता है वो, so definitely to have such evenings is a very, very good way, because see, people are interested in Javed Akhtar the poet, and they're interested in listening to his poetry, and then to have me reading out the translations for people who don't understand the language is also obviously an added attraction. I'm very glad that it's part of the Singapore Arts Festival, because you see, Indian poetry, whether it is Hindi or Urdu, has a very special characteristic which is not shared with any poetry in the world, because it is recited by heart. You don't read out your poetry. जो मुशायरे का पूरा एक तस्वुर है, that's only in the subcontinent. Because if you go to England, if you go to Sweden, or if you go to America, all the poets read out their poetry. So this is typical of the subcontinent, and I think it's wonderful that we have this opportunity to listen to Javed recite the poetry he's written.
I'm connected to India, the platform that I'm from. We are basically about NRI community, the diaspora, and you have been engaging with the NRI community and diaspora for so many years in various ways, as an actor, as an activist, as somebody who does a lot of theatre. What do you find is so special about the connect that they have back home, which kind of still has some sort of a resonance with the arts and culture of India when they are outside India?
I absolutely believe that culture and the arts have an organic connection with people that you never lose touch with. And so, when you are in a nostalgic mood, when you're thinking about your youth, when you're thinking about your childhood, there are certain strong images that poetry conjures up, which makes you have an immediate emotional contact with the days of the past. And I think that is a very fulfilling, very rich experience. It can be, it can have shades of sorrow, it can have a sense of loss, it can have great joy, it can have romance, it can have all the various emotions that are there. And poetry has the ability to reach that. Firat Gorakhpuri, the very famous Urdu poet, was once asked what poetry is. And he said, if you look at Shiv, the god Shiv, doing thunder, then every pore of Shiv is trembling when he's doing the thunder. But while doing the thunder, Shiv's face is completely serene and with a light smile on his face. Poetry is that light smile. Life is doing a thunder, but the shant zindagi ka wo jichera. Yeah. So beautifully put, no?
Shabana ji, I can listen to you all day long, but I know you have to leave. Just before we go, can I make a small request? एक छोटी सी गुजारिश कि अगर आप कुछ सुना दें हमें जावेद साहब का कुछ लिखा हुआ जो आप हमारे व्यूअर्स के साथ शेयर कर सकें.
खुश शक्ल भी है वो, ये अलग बात है. खुश शक्ल भी है वो, ये अलग बात है. हमको ज़हीन लोग हमेशा पसंद थे.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Shabana ji, and we really look forward to seeing you in Singapore soon. It was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for giving your time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.